language interpreter Laura Mondi, and together with the dedicated team, we are here to bring you the latest developments and the top stories shaping the day. Stay with us. EBN Prime Edition begins now, and with this. Deputy Party Leader of the Democratic for Citizens Party, Cleophas Malala, has strongly dismissed claims by Jubilee Party Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni that he is secretly working with President William Ruto. Speaking in Kakamega County, Malala accused Kioni of being used to divide the opposition, insisting that former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua can never and will never collaborate with President Ruto's administration, which he described as a one-term government. Kioni had earlier alleged that former DP was secretly working with the president, a claim that Malala says is baseless and meant to cause confusion within the opposition.
Wameanza kuja kuleta kisirani hapo, wale wakina Kioni ambao wanatumwa kukuja kuleta fujo katika United Opposition. Ningependa kuambia Kioni, kama wewe uko kwa United Opposition na uwezi sema one term, wewe ni mole. So kabla mtu yote akuja aseme yeye anapinga serikali, unamwambia kwanza aseme nini? One term. Sasa wewe Kioni, enda kwanza useme one term, ndio tujue wewe sio mtu wa Ruto. Lakini yeye anakuja wanaongea kizungu mingi hapo, economy sijui nini. Sisi tunasema agenda yetu nambari 1 ni Ruto ni one term. Sasa Kioni aache kuleta confusion. Aache kuleta confusion. Anaanza kusema ati Rigathi ni mtu wa William Ruto. Rigiji anaweza kaa na William Ruto kweli? Haezi. Sisi hatuwezi kaa na William Ruto. Ameua watoto wetu. Ameharibu uchumi wetu. William Ruto must go one term. So Kioni, be warned. Don't bring confusion in the United Opposition.
Tarajia kwamba mimi Edgar Busiega Mwanga nitamwachia kiti cha ubunge wa Malava. Nasema asahau na ashindwe katika jina la Yesu. Raia, watu wa Malava, mnakubali niache kiti cha Malava? Niende mpaka kwa debe? Nyinyi mmesema na mimi nitafuata.
And the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Kenya, ISPAC, is demanding an independent probe into the Social Health Authority recruitment saga. Now this follows the controversial removal of whistleblower Andrew Rotich, who played a critical role in exposing the theft of billions from the list of appointees. Rotich, a former deputy director of forensic audit at SHA, reportedly lost his job after lifting the lid on the massive corruption scandal. ISPAC is also calling for urgent steps in protection of whistleblowers and evidence, including security guarantees for Rotich and his family.
While recruitment processes are the prerogative of appointing authorities, the circumstances surrounding the non-inclusion of CPA Rotich and 2 other deputy directors in the latest shortlist raises issues of public interest. ISPAC's concern is that if left unaddressed, such developments could inadvertently discourage professionals from speaking out on accountability matters.
And on matters higher education, public university lecturers have vowed not to return to lecture halls, maintaining that their nationwide strike will continue until the government fully meets their demands in the return to work formula. Through their unions, the Dons accused the government of going back on its words, repeatedly making commitments but failing to honor them, leaving the crisis unresolved and learning in universities disrupted. The lecturers, through their unions KUSU and WASU, are now faulting deputy vice chancellors who have threatened to withhold salaries with this month, warning such a move will only escalate the standoff. The stalemate between the government and university lecturers has now brought higher education in the country to its knees.
Mtusikizeni sisi. Sikizeni viongozi wenu. Simameni imara mkidai haki zenu. Haki ni yenu. Katiba ni yetu. Wasimamizi wa vyuo vikuu, wacheni vitisho. Kama mnataka maongezi au majadiliano, tupo. Jongeeni mbele. Ketini kwenye meza, tuangaliani macho kwa macho. Alafu tuzemezane. Lakini kutuambia na kututisha na kufanya nini hayatasaidia hayo yote, bali mgomo. Swala nzima la mgomo ni kwa sababu sheria au mahakama ilipitisha kwamba hawa wafanyikazi walipwe fedha zao. Tuwasidai, walipeni pesa zao, mgomo utaisha.
3 demands. Moja imetimizwa. Si hiyo mlikula? Sasa mnangoja 7.9. Let them not entice you with the 2.3 billion. Hoovering a few coins of expiation to lecturers like 2.3 billion. You think now that is enough? We want 7.9. Thank you very much.
In the ongoing bid to register new voters ahead of the next general election, there was a low turnout of Kenyans seeking to enlist today as the continuous voter registration exercise entered its 3rd day. IBC officials in Naivasha constituency in Nakuru County have expressed concerns over the poor numbers, urging Kenyans to visit constituency offices countrywide and register as voters. The electoral body is now targeting to register at least 6.3 million new voters by the year 2027.
For Naivasha, for 2027 is 201,935 registered voters. Remember, I had started by saying that as at 2022, we had a total of 157,128 registered voters. So way forward is we will have an addition of 44,807. That is the target for Naivasha. And so the numbers are very low, and the challenges might be the voter apathy.
And still on that, youths in Laikipia West have rolled out a voter mobilization drive encouraging the peers to register ahead of the next general election. The initiative, led by Peter Gishia, was launched at the IBC offices in Nyahururu, where the group urged young people to take up the civic duty by registering as voters and making key choices at the ballot. The youths also reflected on the lives lost during the Gen Z protest, noting that registering to vote remains the most effective way to safeguarding their rights. Residents were further urged to register, verify their details, or transfer their voters' card in readiness for the polls.
We want to mobilize youth to take IDs, and those who don't have IDs, just to come and take IDs and register for voting. As a leader with my fellow comrades, youth and Gen Z, time has come to change and transform our future. Na si story, ni action. We are a significant political force, adding millions of eligible voters to the electorate. Expectation of 6.3 million new registration as a voter is equal story, ni action.
This is a call to action to register, vote, and also to remove the leaders who have failed us. If you are tired of a broken system, if you are tired of a system that puts the young people behind and prioritizes their own interest, the first step you can do is to register as a voter.
In Laikipia West, we had around 118 registered voters, but our target is 152,000. So you can see we really need to call out to everybody who is not registered to come and
Isikwe story ni action. And still on that, leaders in Kirinyaga County are now calling on the Independent Electorates and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, to work closely with the national government to fast-track the issuance of national identity cards. The leaders, led by former Deputy Governor Peter Ndambiri, say delays at registration offices and Huduma centers are slowing down the registration of new voters ahead of the next general elections. They are now urging the government to act swiftly, stressing that it is the right of every eligible citizen to be issued with an ID and participate in the democratic process. Once again, the youths will form a significant portion of the voting bloc come the year 2027.
To come out in large numbers. This is the only time that you can be able to change the governance of this nation, right from the MCA to the presidential level. I want to say that your time to bring change in Kenya is now. And that is why I'm stating categorically, the time to go to the streets is over. And I am addressing the young adults, the youths, the Gen Zs, the millennials, that we do not need to go to the streets now. This is a time that we can bring change, the change you have really fought for in this country, the change that so many of us go into the streets and even lose some lives. The time has come. Register as a voter. Register in numbers. Please, if you have not taken your IDs, pick your IDs and go and register as a voter. The time to bring change to our nation, to our...
And moving on, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, has partnered with county governments to establish committees in a bid to strengthen the fight against corruption. Speaking in Tana River County, EACC Commissioner retired Colonel Alfred Mushimba said new county committees will help prevent the misuse of public funds at the devolved units before graft occurs, rather than relying only on court battles to recover stolen money. Statistics from the commission now show that Tana River County ranks among the counties leading in bribery cases.
Kuna faida zaidi, manake katika county kuna miradi kadhaa, na vile vile governor ametueleza kuna ule mradi muhimu sana ambao anafanya mambo ya urbanization, ambapo ni mradi ambapo kutaenda rasilimali nyingi sana, na kwa hivyo prevention committee kama hizi zitasaidia sana, sababu mambo ya investigations na nini, hiyo ni mambo ya kufuata wakati mali imeenda, mradi umesimama, lakini ukizuia kuna faida kubwa zaidi. Kwa hivyo sasa kwenda mbele, sisi tunataka kupartner na county zote na kuzuia mambo ya ufisadi, na pia hata wananchi kusaidia kwa mambo ya kuzuia mambo ya ufisadi.
Tumekuwa na kikao hapa kuzungumzia haya yote na hatimaye kukubaliana ya kwamba tunahitaji kuweka ile kamati ya kuzuia ufisadi, ambayo ni jambo ambalo EACC wanajaribu kulichangamkia kwa kaunti zote ili kuwe na ushirikiano mzuri kati ya EACC na counties.
And the Cabinet Secretary for Public Service, Geoffrey Ruku, has launched the distribution of relief food to drought-affected regions across the country. The CS said the food distribution exercise is expected to sustain residents of the West counties of Turkana and Mandera for 1 month, targeting more than 450,000 people. According to government estimates, at least 2.15 million people in arid regions are facing hunger. Now the warning comes as the Meteorological Department projects that the October to December short rains will be below average, worsening the drought situation.
The drought is fighting, and therefore we need to intervene before things get out of hand. And that is how it should be.
Food insecurity causes insecurity in the wider perspective of the term insecurity. People are going to start going all over, looking for this for a way to live. And that is what brings cattle rustling. That is what is going to send our people across international boundaries.
The government is well prepared to ensure, even if there will be poor performance of short rains during this period of October and December 2025, in January next year and in February next year, there will be enough food in every corner of these counties which are facing food insecurities.
And that story takes us to the first quarter, or rather the first half of EBN TV Prime Edition. Don't go away, as we will be back shortly. And welcome back to EBN TV Prime Edition. Let's continue. And tension is still high in Siaya County following Tuesday's shocking attack on striking nurses by suspected hired guns. At least 20 nurses were injured when the attackers descended on them during a peaceful protest outside the county headquarters. The Kenya National Union of Nurses has strongly condemned the incident, demanding justice for the victims and calling on Siaya County Governor James Orenge to urgently step in and resolve the grievances of the health workers through peaceful dialogue.
Within a few minutes, the police came in and started shooting in the air. Live bullets. As they were shooting in the air, the goons started beating our members here with the rungus, and our members have sustained a lot of injuries. We want these people to remit the third-party deductions that they are deducting from our salaries, that when we speak about, we are being beaten by goons. Let them remit the bank loans, the SHA, insurance dues. Hizo tunataka zikuwe settled. Is when we will go back for job.
We are fighting for your right. Don't be used as a goon to beat these nurses. We are communicating like starting today. We are calling any other health worker, contracted included, nurses included. We can't be harassed by the security personnel, and we have all the legally required documents to make us march on the street.
Tukaanguka, tukaanza kuchapwa. Mimi nimechapwa mara mbili kwa mgongo mpaka nikaanguka chini, nikaumia kwa mguu, then hapa na pia nikachapa hapa. So mimi nauliza tu, sisi hatuna ubaya. We are nurses.
Me as an official, I've lost my phone. The goons have taken my phone. My finger, I've also got an injury. And it's very unfortunate to the governor of the county government of Siaya. We are not happy. We are professionals. And you need to deal with us as professionals.
And tight security operations in Nandi County have borne fruits as security officers in Kapsabet town seized 50 kilograms of bang valued at 250,000 shillings. The illegal consignment was being transported in a matatu that had left Mumias heading to Nairobi. And confirming the incident, Nandi County Head of Intelligence Akate said police officers acted on a tip-off, thus laying a trap before intercepting the vehicle, arresting 2 people, including a driver and a passenger in connection with the consignment. The 2 are now in custody as investigations are underway as part of the ongoing efforts to stamp out drug trafficking in the region.
The plant material was well stuffed in a bag that is normally or commonly called Nigerian bag. And apparently, preliminary investigation indicates that the plant material belongs to one Titus Mugatha, whom we've arrested and treating as a suspect. We have equally arrested the driver of the said motor vehicle as an accomplice to the same, the shuttles that are plying the routes from Western Kenya to Nairobi, that they need to be extra alert and vigilant to ensure that all luggages that are being loaded on their vehicles on transit to whichever destination are well marked, their owners are well known.
And moving on, older persons in the country are now calling on the government to increase the monthly stipends offered under the Inua Jamii program, saying the current support is inadequate in meeting their needs amid tough economic times. Speaking during the celebrations to mark the International Day of the Older Persons, some of the elderly lamented harassment and neglect in the sunset years. Ahadi Trust Kenya Chief Executive Officer Stanley Kamau has called on the government to not only enhance social protection for senior citizens, but also ensure their security and dignity are safeguarded.
Tuna pesa tunapewa. Hii pesa haitoshi. Ni kidogo sana. Tena inachelewa. Kuna miezi ingine tulipata tulikaa miezi mbili. Lakini ni mzuri sababu alituma yote.
Gawa mentally inasaidia mkongwe kujisikia ni kama amepata pesa, lakini inaisha the same day. Na wengine hata haiwafikii. Kwa hivyo mimi nasema ni mwito wangu kwa serikali ihakikisha wakongwe wamepewa pesa kulingana na sheria ya employment. Kulingana na Kenya, sheria ya employment inasema mshahara ile dogo sana ni 15,000.
When people grow old, when I was growing old, we were staying together with our grandmother, with our grandfather. But these days, you people, you have immigrated to town and you have left your mothers and your grandmothers home. They are getting a lot of problems. Loneliness, hunger.
We have had cases
in some of the counties, I don't want to mention them, where the elderly people have actually been accused of witchcraft, and most of them end up being killed. I think it's a high time for the communities, the neighbors, the provincial administration, the church, every one of us, to protect the dignity of the elderly people in our country.
And tension is high in Busia County tonight as residents raise alarm of a possible cholera outbreak. Now this follows the bursting of a major sewage pipe which has spilled raw waste directly into a river relied upon by locals for daily use. The most affected areas include Omeri, Bondeni, Ojami and Milimani, where residents say their pleas to the county government have gone unanswered. Now worried about their health and safety, they are calling on Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale and Environment Cabinet Secretary Deborah Mulongo Baraza to intervene urgently and help find a lasting solution.
Sana. Kuna sewage inatoka Bondeni, takataka kutoka Bondeni hiyo huko Mlimani pale yote inakuja na inakuja kwa hii mto. Sasa sisi hapa tunaumia. Kila wakati magonjwa.
Kutoka hapa mali tuko ni 500 meters kwenda ofisi ya governor, county assembly. Lakini takataka sewage yote inaingia ndani ya hii mto hii. Tuko na hii shida na tumeshindwa kusaidiwa mambo ya hii mtoni. Na wamama, watoto wanahangaika, wanakunywa maji yenye mchanganyika na sewage. So tunaomba serikali, national government itusaidie.
Hii ni spring ambayo ilikuwa ina feed watu wengi sana, na kwa sababu ilikuwa the first water supply hapa Busia. Kwa hivyo tunataka wajenge na wa protect hii catchment area na pia wazuie maji mingi ambayo inatoka town. Na hiyo sewage wafunge kabisa.
Hii mtoni hapo mwanzo ilikuwa inatusaidia, tungefua hapa, tungechota maji ya kunywa hapa. Lakini tangu wafungulie sewage zote za Busia zinamwaga kwa hii mtoni, tungekuja kuweka jerrycan kwa pipe, unaona maji natoka ikuwa na makaratasi, maji natoka ikuwa black. Watoto wameugua, inabidi tununue maji, hatuna pesa ya kununua maji kulingana na uchumi wa.
And locals of Mwangaza village on the outskirts of Isiolo town are living in fear following two mysterious fire incidents reported in recent days. A group of armed individuals is said to have torched a house in what locals believe is linked to ongoing land disputes in the area. Community members now claim that land grabbers are behind the attacks aimed at intimidating families and forcibly driving them out of the area.
Fence yangu pande ya nyuma pale na wakavunja nyumba pande ya nyuma ambayo ilikuwa ya mbao. Kuvunja nikasikia mara mwisho kama wameingia ndani, nikichomoka tukakutana naye kwa nyumba. Nikajaribu kungangana nao, wakanishinda nguvu, ambaye walikuwa watatu. Walikuwa wamejihami na silaha. Mmoja alikuwa na bunduki, wawili walikuwa na marungu.
Kama upande wa serikali nimesimama nikikashifu hii maneno ya kuchomea watu wengine nyumba ama kuchukua sheria mkononi. Kama uko na issue na mtu na serikali iko, unastahili kuingia kwa serikali ama kuenda pale kotini.
Sisi tunahangaishwa ya kutosha makesi. Mtu anakuja anasema chama ni yake na yeye si mkai wa Mwangaza kama hapa. Kwa hii kijiji hii mwenye hii mboma.
And that story wraps up tonight's EBN Prime Edition. On behalf of our sign language interpreter Laura Mondi and the entire EBN TV news team, led by my producer and director Brother David, and on camera Michael Dipo, I'm George Kayesi, and thank you for being part of our coverage for tonight. And on the first day of October, remember this: focus on your own journey, take bold steps, and never fear the outcome. If you win, celebrate, and if you lose, learn. But through it all, live fully. From all of us here at EBN TV, we wish you a peaceful night. Goodbye, and may God bless you.